If you spent any time on the internet in the early 2000s, you know this exact image. A mono-yellow, fluorescent-lit, damp carpet nightmare spanning over 600 million square miles of empty rooms. But when Kane Parsons and A24 turned this iconic creepypasta into a feature-length psychological horror, they masked a soul-crushing tragedy about trauma, guilt, and memory loss right under the surface. People left theaters completely divided. Some called it a brilliant psychological piece, while others found it an hour and 45 minutes of pure boredom. The thing is, focusing only on a creature chasing someone through a yellow hallway misses the core detail that drives the entire narrative. The whole story hinges on two characters, Clark and Mary. Clark, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, runs a failing furniture store called Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire. He's broke, his wife kicked him out over his violent outbursts, and he literally sleeps on a cot in his back office, surrounded by unused architectural blueprints. Then there's Mary, played by Renata Reinsve. As Clark's therapist, she carries a massive amount of personal baggage herself. Right after the cold open, we see her watching a construction crew bulldoze her childhood home. The only piece she salvages from the rubble is a block of concrete containing her childhood handprint. Notice how both of them inhabit liminal spaces long before anyone steps through a wall. Clark spends his nights isolated in an empty furniture warehouse, replaying his past mistakes on a loop. Mary grew up trapped inside a hoarder's house with a mentally ill mother who covered the windows with paper and strictly forbade her from going outside. As Mary's self-help tape puts it, "Your consciousness is a room full of memories, but an untrained mind can put up walls to protect itself." The moment Clark falls through the wall in his shop, he steps directly into the maze of his own psyche. Look closely at the environment in Clark's section. Furniture clips through the walls, and chairs fuse together at impossible angles. Because Clark wanted to be an architect, the Backrooms attempt to construct a physical space using his memories and drawings. Human memory, however, is reconstructive and deeply unreliable. Every time you recall an event, your brain pieces it back together like a puzzle, losing accuracy with every attempt. This dynamic explains the still lifes, the blank, uncanny copies of people scattered throughout the corridors. They don't bleed, feel pain, or speak. They are merely distorted recollections. The red-headed still life sitting at the table, for instance, represents Clark's ex-wife, Barbara. When Clark brings his employees, Kat and Bobby, into this space, his self-absorbed nature takes full control. He lowers Bobby into a dark pit with a rope without mentioning any potential danger. The moment Bobby gets dragged away by a generic still-life entity, Clark turns around and runs without a second thought. He consistently drags everyone around him directly into his personal collapse. Everything culminates in the dinner scene. Mary eventually tracks Clark down to a makeshift kitchen where he lives alongside three still-life entities, playing house. Clark scalps the red-haired entity and forces the wig onto Mary, trying to forcibly replay his failed marriage. That's when a new, terrifying creature steps into the light. While the early levels were stalked by standard, featureless, still-life entities roaming the corridors, the monster dominating this section of the maze is Captain Clark, a towering, deformed version of Clark wearing the exact Pirate Sultan outfit from his embarrassing local TV commercials. This entity acts as the physical manifestation of his unbridled rage, bloated ego, and absolute refusal to take accountability. Clark's reaction to the beast says it all. He doesn't scream. He looks up at this monstrosity with a smile, muttering, "It's just the way we're wired. We don't have to change." At that exact moment, Clark completely surrenders to his toxic nature. Seconds later, the Captain Clark monster picks him up like a child and bites his head off. His refusal to confront his flaws leads directly to his own creation, consuming him entirely. As Mary flees through the collapsing dimension, the environment shifts around her. The furniture store layout dissolves into suburban hallways lined with paper, her own childhood memories. Cornered by the monster, she uses the concrete slab with her childhood handprint, the physical anchor of her trauma, to smash the creature's face until the stone shatters into dust. She destroys her own past to break free from someone else's destruction. She escapes into a hallway, only to be gassed and captured by Async scientists in hazmat suits. She wakes up in an interrogation room with Phil, a scientist linked to Async's origins. Phil drops a crucial piece of context. Async originally manufactured MRI machines before accidentally opening a threshold into the backrooms. An MRI machine scans internal brain structures, making the backrooms an exact physical mapping of humanity's collective subconscious and trauma. When Mary asks if she's allowed to leave, Phil dodges the question. Mary sits back with a faint, tragic smile, fully aware that she will never leave this facility. The final shot reveals the true tragedy. Deep within the backrooms sits a misremembered replica of that exact interrogation room. Inside, sitting silently in the chair, is a new still-life entity, a blank, empty copy of Mary. Mary tried to act as the healer, walking a path aimed at saving others the way she couldn't save her mother. Ultimately, she ends up trapped in a room, staring out a window, isolated forever. Her loop closed right where it started. Backrooms uses yellow corridors and uncanny spaces to show how unaddressed trauma eventually creates monsters that destroy both us and the people around us. Clark surrendered to his monster because hiding in a fake reality was easier than taking responsibility. Mary broke her personal trauma, only to find herself locked inside a different cage. Buried deep beneath the floorboards, Clark and his creation ended up exactly where they belonged.